almost time.
Yeah, we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent, Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
Hi, I'm John Mallis. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this, a Wednesday morning here already, midweek. It's hump day. Hey, listen, I've got some free tickets here, my friend, to an event that takes place this coming Sunday. It would be Father's Day. That's right. You'll want to tune in and maybe chime in and call in and come down here to Ventura TV and pick up your freebies. 436-MeTV, option 11. The first, 4 callers will get the tickets. Back in a moment.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
It's the world of sports here on Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Wednesday morning. Glad to have you along. I want to remind you and all of our viewers out there that it is a Wednesday, and every Monday through Friday you can catch us on Comcast, channel 187, 43.6, 13.1. You know, Comcast is obviously cable 187, and the rest is over-the-air television broadcasting with an antenna that you can purchase here at Ventura TV 43.6 and 13.1. If you want to catch the replay and you've already seen the program, doesn't make any difference. 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when it shows up on your dial, 13.6, 8 o'clock tonight, 4.6 Biz TV. And if you want to tweet me, you can at John Mallows MeTV. Already got a caller. I'm going to punch the call and ask the caller to hold on here because we're in the monologue segment. So caller, hang on. We'll get to the tickets and to today's program. Anyway, I want to congratulate, and I celebrated last night along with the Golden State Warriors. First NBA title in 40 years, not since May 25th, 1975, when they swept the Washington Bullets in Washington, by the way. It was a 4-game sweep. Rick Barry, Al Attles and company, Phil Smith, Clifford Ray, all that group won the 75 title, and last night they repeated. It's been a 40-year drought for the Golden State Warriors, and finally last night they beat the best player in the world and one of the best teams, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Anyway, today is the world of sports, and I got to tell you something, my friends. When I think back to those childhood memories, my father taking me to the Memorial Auditorium in Sacramento to watch big-time wrestling, and they had all the greats there. They had Ray Stevens, they had Pat Patterson, they had Pepper Gomez, they had, who else, Kenji Shibuya. Hey, I want to roll the videotape, my friends, and show you what we got in Fresno now. You are looking at Lucha Extreme. You've got the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, God of War Kratos, the Golden Boy, Dylan Drake, Texas Hitman, Big Dog, and Schizo. It is Lucha Extreme, if you've never heard of it, now in its 10th year here in the Central Valley and up and down California. The stars of this circuit appear right here in the city of Fresno at Chachansey Park. Yes, that's where they set up a ring. They go at it. For the last 5 years, they've made it to local television, too. Every Saturday night, 9 o'clock on KLTV. That's 7.1 on your digital dial. You may be wondering about Lucha Extreme. This is a step below the WWE. It's a place where a wrestler can train, he can learn, he can improve the skills, all in an effort to jump up to the big leagues. Lucha Extreme is rough and tumble action from the get-go. They draw crowds all up and down the state. 52 weeks a year they perform, mostly here in the Central Valley. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Is this real? Okay, well, we'll dive into that question today and much more as you watch some of the action here from Chachansey Park. Live in our studio is Lance Cardoza. He is the owner. He is the commissioner. He is almost like Vince McMahon. He is the man at Lucha Extreme. He is here to answer all of your questions, and you can call in and ask him, hey, is this stuff real? Does it really happen? Does it really go on? Is this Lucha Extreme Wrestling like it was years ago when I watched it as a kid? Hey, 436-BTV option 11. We do have somebody waiting on the line. And there is an event that takes place this coming Sunday in Selma. I've got 8 tickets here, so 4 pairs will go. You can call in, pick up your tickets, go see the event. It's all for charity, a good cause. That's this coming Sunday. It would be Father's Day. We're back with our guest, Vince McMahon. No, not really, but we're going to be back in just a moment.
You can find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here on the program, I want to put the poster up before I get to our phone call and to our guest, because this is the Taco Slam that takes place this coming Sunday, Father's Day, in Selma. And Lance Cardoza is here to talk about it. You're the commissioner, you're the chief cook and bottle washer. You kind of do it all, right, Lance?
You got to put it all together. I mean, you're talking about it being real. It's very real when it comes to us putting it together on television every week, 52 weeks a year. It's a big deal.
Oh, man, that's an amazing effort. We got a call right off the bat here. Good morning. You have been waiting for a while, and I thank you for that, caller. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hello. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys are taking callers for the Taco Slam.
Yeah, would you like some tickets?
Yes, please.
Okay, I have them right here. You see those tickets right there? All right, you can have them. And we need your name. You'll have to come down to Ventura TV and pick them up.
Okay.
What's your name, ma'am?
Lisa.
Okay. I'll leave 2 tickets for Lisa at the front desk here at Ventura TV. You know where we're located?
Yes, I do.
Oh, great, great. I appreciate the phone call, and thanks for being patient. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. All right, so Lance, let's roll the videotape. I want to look at some of that wrestling action here,
Yeah,
because
let's take a look
I
at that.
mentioned in the monologue that I saw all the greats: Ray Stevens, Pat Patterson, all the biggies, Kenji Shibuya, and
You've probably seen the epic battle between Ray Stevens and Pepper Gomez.
Yeah, Pepper Gomez. You know, they had a cage match at one time, and I don't know who was involved. But here we're looking at this action. Where do they set up the
actually
ring?
Earlier when we were looking at B-roll. That was from Hanford Civic Auditorium. This is at Chachansey Park post Taco Truck Throwdown.
Okay.
This is down on third base side. This is after a game went into extra innings. And then the fans still stayed. And you look in the upper deck up there, there's lined up there. And we had 6 matches after the ball game, and the fans were hot and heavy, ready for this action. In the ring right now, we have the mass sensation Alazar, up-and-coming star of Lucha Extreme, and Wise Guy. And Wise Guy, he's been with our company for a long time, Alazar as well. And that crowd was heated. They were excited
Really?
for Lucha
How many
Extreme.
fans are we talking about here? Hang on, caller. We'll get to you in a minute.
I would say there was probably a good 3,000-4,000 people. They're lined all the way up the concourse, and like I said, this is after
Yeah.
They've cut off beer at the 7th inning, and these guys are still there, and we're excited for Lucha Extreme that night.
Hey, Lance, we got a call as we take a look at that video there. Anyway, caller, go ahead. You're on the air. Turn down your TV set, I hope.
You forgot Haystack Jones.
Oh, Calhoun, Haystack Calhoun.
No, it's Haystack Calhoun.
And did you get to watch Haystack Calhoun?
Yes, one time.
One time. And he was
Yeah.
a attraction. So he was a guy that years ago, professional wrestling, the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, was a group of territories. And in the Northern California area was Roy Shires. He ran the Cow
I
Palace.
remember Roy Shires.
Sacramento, yeah. So
Yeah.
Roy, that was his territory. So it was, if you imagine a group of godfathers all got together as promoters, and they protected their territories and
Yeah.
their local TV, as I have today,
Yeah.
until the day that Vince McMahon, you were talking about Vince McMahon Jr., there was Vince McMahon Sr., that was out of the D.C. and up in the New York area. He had his territory. So with national television of cable and the invention of cable, that's where the territories started to fall apart. And NWA slowly fell apart as Vince McMahon gained strength with the WWF, which became the WWE, which is a whole
Yeah.
other story.
Yeah, okay, let's put up the poster one more time because this takes place on Sunday, Father's Day, and I've got 2 tickets right here in my hot little hand. I already got 2 set aside for Lisa for Father's Day, and what a great Father's Day gift to go out there and watch some wrestling. How many wrestlers are going to be out there, by the way?
There'll be, anytime we do a television taping, or we're taping out there for Taco Slam on Sunday, anywhere from 20 to 30 wrestlers. And congratulations, Lisa, and I know there's going to be a lot of other happy people taking
Yeah.
pop out there on Sunday.
I know.
Yeah, but it's Sunday, June 21st, 11 a.m., the gates open. About 1 o'clock, the wrestlers will take the ring, and we're filming it for television.
Oh, great, and that'll be shown on 7.1 KAIL.
KAIL,
yeah. KAIL, and that's channel 50, what is it? 7.1.
Channel 13, 713 on Comcast, 53 on Dish,
53,
Direct,
yeah.
and AT&T Uverse on channel 53, and 1053 in HD on AT&T as well.
Yeah, okay, let's roll some more videotape, and I don't know if this is going to be Chachansey Park. How many times do you appear at Chachansey?
Chachansey is about twice a year. Twice a year we
Okay.
go out to Chachansey Park. There's Taco Truck Throwdown, which is a very popular event. We've done Father's Day also at Chachansey Park, and we've also had an event just recently on Selena tribute to Selena, the star.
Okay.
We did an event that night. It was the 24th of May.
Where is this taking place? Because this is obviously not Chachansey.
This is the Civic Auditorium in partnership with the Hanford Chamber of Commerce, where we go. They're a big supporter of the city of Hanford.
Caller, hang on. Go ahead.
And this is Mike Hayashi, big heart, not the biggest guy in the business, and he's facing the God of War Kratos. And the
Okay.
God of War Kratos he's a monster.
Oh, wow.
He is a monster in the business, and a great guy, great heart. The fans love Kratos. They love Mike Hayashi equally.
Yeah.
And these two guys are battling it out in Hanford, and this was for
Wow.
a television taping we had in Hanford.
Years ago, wrestlers didn't have tattoos for the most part. Now you see it's commonplace. I know I
Yes.
got a caller here. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I was kind of curious as to how he got into this. And another question, whatever happened to Pat Patterson?
Yeah. Hey, caller, do you want the tickets? Do you want 2 tickets for this Sunday?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, what's your name? You got to come down to Ventura TV and pick them up.
My name is Daniel.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, Daniel, I'll leave them at the front desk with Michelle, okay? Just go see Michelle. She's not going to be happy I mentioned her name on the air.
Oh,
What's
happy
that?
birthday, Michelle.
Oh, it's her birthday today, so you wish her happy birthday when you come in and get her ticket. Okay, so Lisa and Daniel have 2 waiting at the front desk with Michelle. Okay, I mentioned her name again.
Yeah,
She's not going to be happy with me.
She's not going to be happy. You're going to have to sing
No.
her, Daniel. You have to sing her
No.
happy birthday.
That's right. That's
Daniel,
right.
where are you from? Where are you from in the Valley?
I'm from Fresno.
You're from Fresno, and you watch our show Saturday nights?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good deal. And so we look forward to seeing you out there at Father's Day. I think his question was how I got in the business.
How did you get in the business,
Yeah.
and whatever happened to Pat Patterson?
And Pat Patterson. Let's start with Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson is really the reason, I would say, and even if you asked Vince McMahon Jr. on how WWE's became so strong of a company, a juggernaut in the business of professional wrestling, and Pat Patterson is a very integral part Pat Patterson was an agent for the company, has always been with WWE, and maybe had a short break over the years. But
well, WWF, he was with them. And
he's with WWF, yeah. He was actually with WWF when the father had it, Vince Sr.
Is Pat Patterson still alive?
Yes, he is still alive, very much so, and he's still working for WWE.
Ray Stevens?
Ray Stevens passed away. And we talk about Pepper Gomez and Ray Stevens had a battle back and forth. And you asked the question, is it real? And it's very much real.
We'll
talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
Those two individuals
go ahead.
loved each other.
Yeah.
And they both died within almost a year apart of each other.
My goodness.
Great guys.
Caller, I'm going to have to put you on hold a minute. I've got to go to a commercial break. Be back in a moment here on Connect with Me. We're talking with the one and only Lance Cardoza. He is the owner, the commissioner, the founder of Lucha Extreme. It's called wrestling. We'll find out if it's real, if it's not, what his thoughts are, what your thoughts are. We have a caller on the line waiting, 436-MeTV option 11, and also 4 more tickets to give away. I've already given 4 away, 2 to Lisa and 2 to Daniel. Got to come down here to Ventura TV and pick them up. Back in just a moment.
Euronews, most watched news channel in Europe.
Take a look at this. Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
It's coming. The Lucha Extreme Network. Only at LuchaExtremeNetwork.com. Bring all the action home with the Lucha Extreme Network. Premiering on Saturday, April 25th at LuchaExtremeNetwork.com. Be part of history in the making with the Lucha Extreme Network.
Of course, April 25th is past, but that's just a little sampling of some of their promotional videos that they put out for Lucha Extreme across the state and the Central Valley here in Fresno as well. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to know, is this like a wrestling school, and is it local here in Fresno?
Sure, and do you want 2 tickets to Sunday's event in Selma?
Sure.
You have to come down to Ventura TV and pick them up. Would that be okay with you?
Fine. I've been a wrestling fan for over 30 years. I love it.
All right. What's your name, sir? I'll leave him at the front desk.
Richard.
Richard. Okay. Congratulations. Go ahead.
To answer Richard's question, we do have a professional wrestling school here in Fresno. The professional wrestling school is the Pro Wrestling Training Center. And at the Pro Wrestling Training Center, the head trainer is the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez. And why I say that, probably one of the bar none, and if you ask anybody in the business, and you can go to Triple H with WWE, Vince McMahon, the fundamentals that you get from an old school wrestler like the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez is bar none the best stuff that you're going to get to create your character and you as a professional wrestler, because the fundamentals are hard to get. There's the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez. Many years, as you can tell, look at his forehead, he's had many years of hard road, and still at 60 years old takes the ring with Lucha Extreme, is one of the most dominating and wealth of knowledge, psychology, and everything else you can get from this business. And he really is a mentor to the lucha stars of Lucha Extreme and wrestlers from around the world. Yeah. Raging Bull Manny Fernandez trains right here in Fresno at the Pro Wrestling Training Center, and you can find it at ProWrestlingTrainingCenter.com.
Okay, and where is that located specifically?
It's near the Fresno Airport.
It is.
Is where we are. We're right out
Pro
by the Fresno.
Wrestling Training Center. Has it always been there?
No, the Pro Wrestling Training Center's been in a couple places. We were talking about politics a little bit.
Yeah.
High-speed rail had taken a couple of our buildings. So.
All right, but like years ago when Ray Stevens was wrestling,
no.
where was it then?
Years ago, there wasn't a Pro Wrestling Training Center. There wasn't training centers where you paid to go get trained. How
Where did
Manny
they get
discussed
trained?
it. Manny discussed it. It was very much, like I said, it was Godfathers in these territories. And it was a blessing when they looked at you and said, hey, kid, Manny, West Texas State playing football, just came back out of Vietnam. You're a tough kid. You should get in this business. And I'm Dick Murdoch, Blackjack Mulligan, Terry Funk. And I say, hey, Manny, there's a career for you. Manny said, I'm going to NFL. I'm playing football. Well, he did, and he gave it a try, and he played in the B team and came home and decided, these guys made me believe. I believed when Dick Murdoch and Terry Funk were in the ring that they were in there destroying each other.
Yeah.
I got to be a part of this. And he said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be the best athlete that professional wrestling's ever seen.
Roll another piece of videotape. We can talk over this, and I want to take a look at some of this. And we talked about whether or not it's real, is it fake? I mean, yeah, this is Chick Chansey again, by the way.
Yeah, Chick Chansey.
But I got to ask you something. Okay,
Yeah.
and I've always wondered this since I was a kid. Okay, is this thing scripted?
No, there are independent promotions. There are big companies such as WWE in Japan that do script their storylines, the stories that they're going to tell to entertain the fans. We're very old school. We're a product of the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, which bloodlines to Terry Funk and the Funk family.
Okay, like that hit right there. Was that real? Like right here?
No, I mean, he probably felt it, but no, he's not trying to hurt his brother. He's trying to
Okay.
tell a story.
Okay.
He's trying to tell a story, but a lot of times the real, you don't know when it's happening. I do.
Okay.
I see it. You see
But
two
when you
guys that might
slam-
not like each
when
other.
you slam somebody's head against the post, or you bang a chair across their back of their neck and their head,
You absolutely feel it.
you feel it, but it's
Yeah.
not.
If you're getting in the business of professional wrestling, to think it's football and pads and protecting yourself, you're sorely mistaken.
So-
It is almost sometimes a masochist that really likes professional wrestling.
they get
love
hurt?
pain. Absolutely.
They do.
They do, absolutely. Every night there's someone getting bumps and bruises, broken bones. It happens. And it's very physical. Very physical.
And so you're telling me this is, to a certain extent, it's not scripted.
in our
and-
business, in Lucha Extreme, we
it's
don't.
not.
We don't.
It's not
script
scripted.
It, yeah.
Let the chips fall where they may. Let the best man win. Is that how it goes?
Usually, we have an outcome to tell a story, and we build a character. And in that character development, to make you come back to the television, to make you want to come back and see that hero get on top again, we tell a story. So yeah, they discuss the story that they're going to tell. Now that
But
story
it's
might
not
change.
predetermined before the match who's going to win.
Sometimes, in some cases,
Okay.
cases it's that way. It depends on the story that me as a promoter, the booker, the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, and the team of people that are putting together the stories to tell people. A lot of times, guys create it as they go, and that makes the best matches. When you can do that as a professional wrestler, you're gold to any promoter and to yourself.
I got to take a break. 436-MeTV, option 11. If you want to call in, Lance Cardoza is our guest. He is the owner and the commissioner of Lucha Extreme. By the way, got 2 more tickets right here waiting to give away free of charge for this Sunday's event. Father's Day in Selma, the Lucha Extreme. It's called the Taco Slam. Back in just a moment.
We need help to find this missing child. Delano Wilson was 1 month old when he went missing. He was last seen in Indianapolis, Indiana, August 27th of 2014. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Delano Wilson home.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Piro kicked out. Mike, the wounded warrior, still on the attack. Not ready to relinquish this match yet. Oh, RKO. That could be a KO. That's a knockout move. All he's got to do is cover him.
1, 2, no!
And Mike kicks out. How he does it, I don't know. 1, 2.
Shapiro getting frustrated now, figuring he had Rain finished.
Come on, Mike! And then right back to that nerve pinch.
I could see it on the faces of some of the people in the crowd concerned about the blood dripping from the nose of Money Mike Rain.
Shapiro not concerned at all. I think he's happy opened him up. Atomic drop. Ducks. Chin check. Off the ropes.
That's a super kick from Mike Rain.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your winner by pinfall, Money Mike Rain!
Money Mike Rain getting that W against Levi Shapiro, using that same...
Got a call waiting on the line here. Our guest today is Lance Cardoza, the owner and the commissioner of Lucha Extreme. But before we get to the call, I got to ask you, okay, we saw some blood there. Is that real?
Absolutely, it's real.
All right. That's not Hollywood-type blood,
No, it's actually funny. Mike walked around that curtain, and the referee came around the curtain and said, Mike's bleeding everywhere. And we didn't see it. We couldn't see it on the monitor real well. And Mike came around the corner and had blood everywhere and said, Lance, I'm so sorry. I think I got blood on the canvas.
Yeah.
Which is always a pain.
We have a guy that you can recruit as part of your team. He was a guest here last Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Adrian Gomez. He's a little guy, about 5'1". He can join Lucha Extreme. He got into some fisticuffs over a disabled parking space here in the city of Fresno. Ended up on Judge Judy, and we had him as a guest here. You might want to recruit this guy. He's very aggressive, 5'1". He'll take on anybody.
Hey, Raging Bull Manny Fernandez would love a guy like that. Defending his handicap spot. Manny could respect that.
Unbelievable. Hey, Adrian, if you're out there watching, here's your next line of profession right here. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
I'd be voting for Adrian anyway. He's pretty cool. Hey, you know what? On the lucha, I mean the wrestling, I remember seeing it in Channel 21. I can't remember which it was, but I like it myself. Unless I'd rather stay back a little farther back because I see guys going over the the ropes and all that. But let me ask you, your guest, is there a big draw in that field right now? I mean, so the wrestling. I mean, we know about the Hulks and all that, but around here in the valley, is there a big draw of, people as far as wrestling? Or
absolutely, and I think the caller's asking, is there a big draw for the wrestling? And let me tell you a little bit about what Lucha Extreme is. Lucha Extreme is a brand, so it's professional wrestling. It's American professional wrestling,
right?
Such you see with WWE.
A step below the WWE. It's
Absolutely.
Almost like a training ground.
Yeah,
basically.
It's a training ground before you go up to the Performance Center with a company like WWE, Japan, or Mexico. So it's not the Lucha Libre from Mexico, but it's American professional wrestling. It's really a brand.
Yeah.
That focused towards a third generation, fourth, and fifth generation Hispanic, which is any business in the Valley or anywhere. If you're not focused on that, you're in trouble. So that's really what it is. It's a brand. Now, is there a demand for it? Absolutely, there's a demand.
Is.
And there's a demand for the big companies in Japan, in Mexico, and the WWE, because they're looking for new talent all the time.
Why?
They are the longest running episodic television program in the history of this business. The business that you're in and I'm in, they created the live first ever show on television, the history of TV.
All right, when I was a kid, I would watch it on KTXL. Channel 40 would carry the wrestling matches in Sacramento. The ring announcer and the announcer for the event on television was a guy named Hank Renner. You remember Hank?
Hank Renner, I know the name.
Hank Renner.
Yeah.
He was the voice of big time wrestling in Sacramento.
Did the broadcasting.
Did the
for the show,
broadcasting, did everything. It was like the ring announcer, the broadcaster. I don't know if he had a stake in the business, but so it not only does it date back to the 60s, does it date back before then?
Absolutely. Like I say, the invention of television, wrestling was around then. And wrestling years ago was at Carnival. So if Carnival came to town, there was a strong man in the ring. And some of the wrestlers, the old school wrestlers today, did that at 15 and 16 years old, where they would have a challenge from someone that would say, can you beat this wrestler in the ring? You would get up there, you could win $100 cash, which was huge back then. And that job of that young wrestler was to shoot.
Yeah, I want to promote these 2 tickets right here. 2 more free tickets to give away to Sunday's event. What's that? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Are you still there, caller?
You better believe it.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, so do you want the tickets? I've got 2 freebies.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I can go. I still got to get my other tickets there.
Okay, I've got 2 tickets for you, and your first name, you can come pick them up here at Ventura TV.
Okay, I know where it's at. Yeah, Hector Hernandez.
Hector. Okay, Hector Hernandez.
Hector,
All right.
thank you for calling in.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Hector. I really appreciate that. So that would be Hector. So we gave away all of our tickets, and you can still call in. Let's roll some more videotape from Lucha Extreme. And I've got to ask you, the stars of yesteryear, they don't compare to the stars of today, but it seemed like back then the stars were larger than life. Is it the same now? I mean, because Ray Stevens and all these other stars just seemed so much larger than life, and even The Rock and Hulk Hogan and all these other guys, they appeared the same way. But do you have those same people that are standouts, like a Jesse Ventura?
Yeah, and I think when you look at what those guys did, and when we talk about those guys, we're talking about Ray Stevens, Pepper Gomez, Pat Patterson, they knew how to tell a story. And today's wrestler
did too.
Yeah, but Jesse will tell you, and Hogan, Terry, he'll tell you the same thing. They'll all say there's nothing like those old school wrestlers that can go in there and make you believe.
What's
Johnny
the difference
Valentine,
between them and these guys today?
One, it was innate in their mind how to tell that story, how to make you believe. Johnny Valentine, Greg Valentine's father, was an incredible professional wrestler. He'd go to the territories that were hurting back in the day, and he would pop a territory. What they call popping a territory, he would draw that crowd because he made you believe he was
a crowd pleaser.
And he was a heel. He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
But he made you believe that good guy was not going to get anywhere if he was in the ring.
But you'd love to hate the bad guys. Caller,
Absolutely.
go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, loud and clear. You're coming in loud and clear, my friend.
Okay, my question is, Manny Fernandez, is that the same Manny Fernandez that played for Miami Dolphins back in the day?
No, Manny actually played for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Miami Dolphins, I believe, was a different...
yeah, he was.
It was a different play. It was a different player. They had the same name. He gets confused for that guy all the time, but he actually played Kansas City Chiefs. He was in the B team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think it was post-Vietnam or before Vietnam. I can't remember because he was in Vietnam about a year. Then came back, West Texas State. And then that's where he got into the business of professional wrestling.
All right, got to take a break here with Lance Cardoza, the owner and the commissioner of Lucha Extreme. It's a wrestling show, a traveling show that you can see right here in the city of Fresno at Chukchansi Park. What is it? How many times a year?
Chukchansi Park twice. We're in Merced 3 to 4 times at the Veterans Memorial Building with our good friends, American Legion Post 83, Hanford,
and
all over.
every Saturday night, 9 o'clock on 7.1 KAIL, K-A-I-L television, over-the-air broadcasting. Back in just a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Francisco Molina Nieve has been on the run since March 2008. The police and the FBI need your help tracking this coward down. He's wanted for brutally beating his girlfriend and for the use of a firearm. He has 3 freckles and a crescent shape under his right eye. Call the Colorado FBI at 303-629-7171 if you know where he's hiding.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV appliance, and you, when only the best will do.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from the lost coast of Arcata, weighing in at 232 pounds, Money Mike Rain!
Money Mike Rain coming out so good from this crowd, Byron. That's right, Jason. You might remember
kick twice.
Once inside the ring, once outside the ring. This crowd definitely showing what the...
And his opponent, from Richmond, California, weighing in at 196 pounds, the unorthodox Levi Shapiro!
Levi Shapiro coming out to take it to Money Mike Rain, the unorthodox Levi Shapiro.
Levi Shapiro, because it's the Braun 21st
What do you know
century.
about Levi Shapiro, Byron?
I had a chance to chat with Levi.
All right, back here on the program talking about Lucha Extreme. It's, I don't know, I still call it big time wrestling. Even that name is old in itself. It's in the old days, that's what it was called, big time wrestling. Now, there are all sorts of sophisticated names for basically the same product.
Absolutely. And a lot of it's strayed and become some different type backyard product. But we really hold on to that old school, which you fell in love with your grandmother and grandpa, what they fell in love with. We bring that back because the business isn't hard. It hasn't changed that much. And we try to make it so unique, it strays from what people originally fell in love with.
No, I'm not kidding. I mean, when I was a kid back in the 60s, I would beg my father to take me and my brother to the auditorium when wrestling, just the same way as I would beg him to take me to Candlestick to watch the Giants and Dodgers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was great because you got to escape reality, and we talked about Dusty Rhodes passing away. And
yeah, let's put his picture up on the screen here. Dusty Rhodes, you can talk about him just recently, and he was a young guy. What happened?
69. From what we hear, he fell at home, went to the hospital.
Break his hip?
Something clotting. Didn't know too many details. I know his family was with him, and then he passed away. It was a real shock. It came fast.
And here's a guy who fell all his life.
But yeah, exactly. And Terry Funk, we're talking to him on the phone. Manny was on the phone with him, and you never know when you're going to take your last bump. And that was the last bump. And what's incredible about Dusty, you look at him, he's not the stereotypical professional wrestler. He was the working professional wrestler. He didn't have the physique of all the wrestlers today. He was the guy that was the common man. And when he talked to fans, he reeled them into the building to come see the common man, the son of a plumber.
So he wasn't the slick guy like The Rock?
Absolutely. He could talk you into any building to come watch the common man, the guy that's sat next to you watching the wrestling, that maybe you have a chance to become a part of this great business professional wrestling.
The Rock is I mean, I love The Rock. I like his acting. I like his but he's a pretty boy.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. He's a funny guy.
This guy's not a pretty boy.
No, not a pretty boy.
Dusty Rhodes never was.
A beautiful mind. A beautiful mind for the business, and was working for WWE in the Performance Center. We had a student that was just down there and was probably the most intelligent man for this business. Just very smart. They called him the Oak. He was the big oak that they could lean on, that could teach you psychology in this business.
Hey, I've got to ask you something. Before we go to some of the other photos, come back to us, and I just need to ask you this question here.
Sure.
Do you remember the interview with Vince McMahon conducted by Bob Costas?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Do you think, and I've always wanted to ask somebody this question, do you think, because he asked some very pointed questions, first time I kind of saw Bob Costas flustered, would McMahon have taken a pop or a swing at Costas, because he looked very angry in that interview?
Absolutely.
He would have?
Absolutely.
He would have decked him?
Absolutely. Vince comes from his father.
He would have decked him with cameras rolling.
Why not? It's good TV. It's good TV. He's in the business of creating hype.
Okay.
That's his business. Don King is not quiet because he sold tickets to boxing. Don King was bigger than life. Vince McMahon, the character, is bigger than life. In ring, out of the ring, behind the scenes, he is bigger in life.
I kind of disagree with you in the way that I thought maybe that interview was kind of scripted in a way that it would create this image where Costas was shaking in his boots and Vince McMahon was this big, bad, mean, ugly guy that would just take Costas out with one swing.
Yeah.
And maybe that whole thing was a little staged. What do you think?
I think Vince was cornered. I think he was cornered.
You think so?
Yeah, there was a lot of stress under Vince's life during that time. There's a lot of steroid allegations.
So you don't think anything about that interview was staged? It was
no,
real.
absolutely. life in itself, our politicians, when they get on camera, is at times staged. They're selling you something. Everybody's
Right.
selling you something. Now, our passion sometimes takes over. Like you asked two wrestlers in the ring, I know when there's heat between guys, and
Yeah.
you see something and go, ooh, that looked pretty stiff. It probably was. And then when they come in the back, you find out it was. They were mad at each other. So in real life, he's on national television. His brand is under a microscope at that moment, and Bob Costa knew he had him. And Bob Costa was reeling him in, thinking, if he did hit me, this is great TV. And he tried to get Vince to do it. And I think Vince came pretty close. Vince was upset. And I knew for a while he was upset.
Because of the line of questioning?
It was a lot of pressure at that time. I think Vince was under a lot of pressure, and Bob knew he was pushing hot buttons, and Bob
He knew how to
was good
push
for
the
that.
buttons, yeah.
And he was pushing them, and he always heard Vince was a bully. Vince could be a bully,
Yeah.
and Vince has learned to being an IPO company. Vince is a very, very just a very intelligent man that's created
Yeah.
this juggernaut of a company.
Yeah.
So he's learned to be different.
Okay, I want to put up the pictures of the wrestler. We have like 18 or 19 of these.
Hold on. And there's
photos.
more. This is
All right,
our
who's
U.S.
this guy here?
champion. This U.S. champion, Brandon Pinion, and he's a Fresno guy. He says he's from the Grizzly Town. You know, he's a big fan of the Fresno Grizzlies.
Why can't we get him here on the program? Can we?
You can get Brandon in here on this show. Brandon
I'd love
travels
to.
quite a bit, and Brandon is our U.S. champion. Not the biggest fan favorite. Him and some other TV
He's
hosts
from
here
Fresno.
in town.
We'll get him in here,
He's an arrogant one. He'd be fun.
All right. I like arrogance. That's okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, he'd be great. Money Mike Rain. We saw a little bit about Money Mike Rain. Mike Rain, tough, smash mouth wrestler, has that old school mentality.
Yeah.
And Mike's a great guy, and is right now shooting for the world championship with Lucha Extreme. He's one of many right now as it's up for grabs.
Okay, next one is who's this?
Mustafa Saeed. He was a former ECW tag team champion with New Jack right there in the front. Mustafa's a notorious professional wrestler. Big guy. I mean, he's one big piece of meat, and he'll tear you up in the ring, and he's got his young guy behind him, CB3, which calls himself Cell
Are they a
Block 3.
tag team or what?
They're a tag team, and they are notorious. You don't know what's going to happen when they come to the ring.
Yeah.
These guys, a classic connection. We saw a little bit of Levi Shapiro earlier, and then Buddy Royal. They really are bringing back the old school, the 80s look, and they're a funny group of guys. Another tag team, and they're the guys you just love to hate. A lot of people love to hate these guys. Super Tiger, High Flyer. Not the biggest guy in Lucha Extreme, but one of the Lucha stars that defies gravity.
How tall is he?
I'd say he's probably about 5'8", 5'9".
Uh-huh.
And
our buddy Adrian Gomez might fit right in here.
Yeah, but getting a hold of Super Tiger, boy, he's all over the place. And we got Big Dog and Schizo, the Texas Hitmen, notorious tag team out of Texas. They come up from Texas all the time for our
another tag
television.
team.
And they are vicious, too, been trained by the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez.
Yeah, okay.
Wise guy. He was on the TV show Monster-in-Law.
Oh.
He's with Lucha Extreme's gotten a lot bigger these days. Big guy here at Lucha Extreme. And Wise Guy's been a corner post here at Lucha Extreme as well.
Okay, next.
Alazar, the masked sensation, will be out at the Selma Auto Mall this Saturday before the big event Taco Slam. He's signing autographs with the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez
What
at
time?
the Selma Auto
What
Mall.
time?
About 1 o'clock at Selma Nissan. They're
Okay.
sponsoring the event Taco Slam, helping Selma's Cancer Support and the Citizens for Selma Police Department, and the big fundraiser Taco Slam. That's Alazar.
All right, go ahead. The next one. There it is.
Chupacabra, an unorthodox wrestler. He's kind of he's been out of Lucha Extreme for some time, but he'll be coming back sometime soon, and he's an interesting one.
All right.
Mike Hayashi, another high flyer. This guy, you saw him in one of the matches with the God of War Kratos. Big heart and a really, really sound professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Drake. Here's the guy that you say you love to hate those bad guys. He's one of those guys you just love to hate.
Yeah.
Arrogant and flashy and really good professional wrestler out of the Bay Area, San Francisco. Idris Jackson. Idris Jackson's one of the hot names right now that the big companies are looking at. Idris Jackson is very intense in the ring.
Yeah. Any more? Yeah.
Jesse the Snake Pool, native of Fresno, young guy in the professional wrestling business, but is really taking Lucha Extreme by storm. He's one of the most dangerous predators at Lucha Extreme. Johnny Dynamo, Filipino guy out of the Bay Area, and Johnny Dynamo is making a good name for himself, fighting his way up through Lucha Extreme here with the Lucha Stars.
All right. Any more? Yeah.
Heartbeat of America, Johnny Plinko. Merced loves Johnny Plinko. Guy from the Merced area, Atwater actually, travels all over the place. But the Heartbeat of America, Johnny Plinko, is one tough guy, former champion.
All right.
Kevin Eldovino, he's the Lucha kid. Kevin Eldovino, high flyer, hard hitter, trained by the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, really making a big name for himself.
Wow.
And there's the God of War Kratos.
Yeah.
The guy is a monster. He's a beast. God of War Kratos.
Is that the last one or no? Two
Oh,
more.
well, you know
there's-
the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, NWA, WCW legend, really the mentor and the godfather of Lucha Extreme, and is leading us to greatness with this television show. Manny is one tough guy.
All right, and one more.
Marcus Eriks, another student of Lucha Extreme's Professional Wrestling Training Center. Marcus Eriks really has grown with Lucha Extreme and is making a good name for himself training with Manny.
I think the reason this sport is so popular is because people like to go out there and they like to just get their frustrations out. They want to yell and they love to hate somebody.
Absolutely.
And here we can do it in a very,
safe,
not a destructive way, but a safe way.
Yeah.
You love to hate somebody.
This is why Dusty Rhodes became so famous, and Dusty's words echo this week as people reflect on his life. Dusty said, "What would you wish you accomplished in this business? What one thing?
Yeah.
If you could escape." And he gave you your money's worth that day going out to the show, and your family can escape. Maybe dad lost his job, maybe this isn't right, or maybe so there's death in the family, or maybe there's just something not going right in our lives, and we all have that.
Yeah.
If you can escape that reality for that one moment and get your money's worth and smile, yell, have a great time, then he's done his job,
Yeah.
and he hopes he did that.
All right, Lance
He did.
Cardoza, out of time.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you. Come back
Appreciate
again.
it. Absolutely. Thank you
All
for
right.
having us.
Hey,
Taco
appreciate it.
Slam tomorrow. Everybody's got to get out there. Or not tomorrow, Sunday.
Yeah, Taco Slam in Selma on Sunday starts at 1 o'clock, and it's for a good cause, Lucha Extreme. Back with our second guest in just a moment.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there!
Officer Poncherello, man. Frank Poncherello. Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada on
Now
Chips.
on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery. Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Colt as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
From a top-secret location, it's the Spies Who Love Me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring. That's right. Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly. And smart?
The yellow finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. James Bell is an alleged child predator. Bell's wanted for molesting 3 girls ages 9 through 13 while working at a local YMCA in 2003. He was arrested, then fled. Bell has worked as a gymnastics instructor, coach, and a computer repairman. Bell could be anywhere along the West Coast. If you know where he is, call 617-742-5533.
time to talk about our second guest now, and it's certainly tomorrow, starting tomorrow, it'll be a holy day for the Muslims here in the Central Valley, around the state of California, the country, and certainly about 1.8 billion Muslims that are around the world. It's certainly in Mecca, they will celebrate Ramadan as they will here in the Central Valley. My guest is Dr. El Said Ramadan. He is the imam over there at the mosque near Fresno State. And welcome back to the program. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Great. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
All right, all right. I want to ask you what Ramadan stands for. What is the holy day and the holiday stand for? What takes place during that time period?
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me again to talk about some concepts of Islam, and especially one of the most important pillars of Islam, and that is the month of Ramadan, or fasting in the month of Ramadan. When we talk about the month of Ramadan, we're talking about the 9th month of the lunar calendar. The 9th month of the lunar calendar, which is 30 days or 29 days, depending on the moon sighting. All the lunar calendars depend on the moon sighting. So when we sight the moon in the beginning of the month, we started the lunar month.
So it depends on where the moon is located.
When the moon is sighted in the beginning of the month, it starts as a crescent.
So is it different? Is it different each year?
Yes, that's why the month of Ramadan, or fasting of the month of Ramadan, comes about 11 days ahead every year.
Okay.
11 days ahead every year.
And what's the meaning of Ramadan?
The meaning of Ramadan, the word Ramadan is actually taken from an old word that means like, to be like hungry and thirsty in fasting. And fasting in the month of Ramadan, or fasting in general for the Muslims, is one of the main pillars of Islam. By the way, fasting is not only for the Muslims. Adam, the father of the human beings, used to fast. So fasting was way established back in the human history.
Reason being?
Reason being, I'm coming back to the reason. But let me tell you what is the definition of fasting, what fasting means for the Muslims.
Okay.
Fasting means to abstain completely from food and drink, and many other things, from the morning time until the sunset time, from the morning prayer until the sunset prayer, the whole day, absolutely no food and no drink. And some people might think that, how can you survive? How can you live without food and drink for this long period of time?
What about those? Let me interrupt just for a second here, if you don't mind. I apologize. But what about those Muslims who are up in age, they're sick, they need to take medicine, they need to drink, and they have to eat?
And they have to eat. That's a very good question. The fasting in the month of Ramadan is for the person who can fast, the person who does not have an excuse to break his fasting, the person who is old, the person who is sick, the person who needs to take medication and he cannot waive it until the end of the day. He or she is licensed to break their fasting, but instead of breaking they can break their fasting, but for that they have to feed a needy person for every day they break their fasting. That's called expiation for fasting, or the fidya that we call in Arabic. So fasting, to abstain from food and drink the whole day, is for the person who can fast. If like a nursing woman, yes, I do.
You do?
Of course.
For the whole day. And what time do you eat?
We start fasting. Let me give you exact time for tomorrow, for example. The fasting will start tomorrow at 4:10 a.m. and we break our fasting at 8:21 p.m. So we're talking about 16 hours plus, few minutes. So during this whole time, no food, no drink, absolutely no intimate relation between the husband and the wife during the whole day. By the sunset time, we break our fasting, and then we pray, then we eat the dinner, and during the night time, we have a special prayer to perform during the month of Ramadan. And in the morning, the second day, we resume our fasting. And this process continues for 29 days or 30 days, depending on the moon sighting. So the month of Ramadan, for sure, is starting tomorrow. That is going to be the first day. And we're going to continue fasting for 29 days or 30 days, depending on the moon sighting. Now, when we come to fasting, and some people think that it's a big thing to stop eating and drinking from the beginning of the day till the end of the day. How can you survive? I am 45 years old, and I start fasting when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I'm still alive. I still survive. In the beginning, it might be difficult to stop eating and drinking, but there is a big and great wisdom behind fasting. I mean, God is not interested in our hunger and thirst. He does not enjoy being hungry and thirsty. He doesn't enjoy that. But the point is, we are learning many benefits, we are gaining many benefits, and learning many lessons from fasting.
Such as, give me one lesson that you learned from fasting.
One lesson that we learn from fasting is fear of God. And fear of God means that if I succeed as a human being to sacrifice my physical needs, such as food and drink, which is very important for my life, and I cannot survive without it, if I succeed to sacrifice that for a certain number of hours, then I will be able to sacrifice so many desires and so many wishes. So that's why when the stomach gets empty, the organs of the body or the parts of the body, they get full, which means that my eyes will not look at something that is prohibited to look at. My hands will not touch and hit something that is prohibited to do. And that's why fasting in Islam does not mean only stopping eating and drinking. It means to stop all kinds of bad things. Fasting is not only the fasting of the stomach, it is a fasting of the whole body, that I will not...
Mind. It's a cleansing of mind and body.
Exactly. So we care all the time, we care about our physical needs. I mean, we eat and drink, we enjoy our time and things like that. But we do not care sometimes about our spiritual needs. So when we fast, we are highlighting our spiritual needs. And one of the main lessons of fasting is also to feel the hunger and the thirst of the poor and the needy people. So if I am able to sacrifice my food and drink for this number of hours, and I feel hungry and thirsty during this time, I will feel the suffering of the person who does not have food his entire life. And that's why it is, fasting encourages the Muslim.
So that's basically why you do it then?
Yes.
So you feel the pain and the anguish of other people. Who don't have food most of the time.
Exactly. And that's why in fasting encourages the Muslims to give more and more in charity. In fact, there is a special charity that is given by the Muslims towards the end of the month of Ramadan, and this is called the charity of breaking the fast, that is giving absolutely for the poor and the needy.
How long is Ramadan?
Ramadan is 29 days or 30 days, and at the end of the month of Ramadan, we have a big annual celebration that is for all the Muslims all over the world, and this annual celebration is called the celebration of breaking the fast.
Got about a minute left. Where did fasting come from? Are those direct orders from God?
Exactly. It is direct order from God to Prophet Muhammad, who conveyed to his followers, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, fast, and he commanded his followers to fast. We as Muslims, we follow the command of God, because he says in the Quran, he says in the Holy Quran, he says, "O believers, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you." So as I said in the beginning, fasting is not restricted for the Muslims. It was observed by the prophets and the messengers before, including but not limited to Prophet Adam, Prophet and Father Adam, peace be upon him. Fasting is a great thing. At the end of the month of Ramadan, we have a great annual celebration. We are having it this year in the Convention Center, downtown Fresno.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Caller, I'm sorry we're out of time. I wish I had time to take your call, but we're out of time. Otherwise, I'm going to get cut off. I got to let it go there.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay, I appreciate your time. That's Dr. El Said Ramadan, the imam over there at the mosque across from Fresno State. Sorry to the caller, can't get you on. Out of time. Back tomorrow with Becky Cinema on Friday's show. We're going to have Miss Fresno County, who is competing in the Miss California contest. We'll see you then. Have a great day.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want. Save now on Frigidaire's Advanced Affinity Laundry Pair. Let Frigidaire save you energy, water, and time. Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.